Hey guys, Tinman here again with another One Piece video. Today I am going to be talking about the Lunarians and King. In the last chapter in 1033, Queen dropped some more information on the Lunarians, so I wanted to compile a video and put possibly everything we know about them, which isn't really all that much. And if I miss anything, I'm sorry. But I wanted to start out with that they come from the Red Line. They were the original people that lived on top before the Celestial Dragons took over the 21 Kings back in the Void Century. Whitebeard actually tells Marco about this back in the Odin flashback, saying that there was a kingdom of gods that used to live on top of the Red Line before the Celestial Dragons moved in. And also later on, Marco comments that he used to hear rumors about a fire manipulating or conjuring race that lived on top of the Red Line. And when he was fighting King, he pieced it together that the Lunarians and King are like the same people that Whitebeard was talking about. And also in the new chapter, Queen also states that they were referred to as gods as well. So that kind of goes back to what Whitebeard said. Big Mom also tried to get King to join Totland, her little nation that she has, trying to get all the races to live in harmony. Because she states that that the Lunarians, she didn't drop the name Lunarian, but King is one of the three races that actually aren't in Totland yet. So she is trying to recruit him, and King gets all shocked and scared and declines her. But Lunarians are also able to manipulate fire. They can conjure it from their body, like King has it on his back, and he's also like manipulated out of his hand and everything, and on his feet for kicks, like in the last chapter with Zor. Uh, like I said, they can use the fire to augment their punches and kicks, giving them more firepower, probably like more punching power, like a rocket, or just burns in general, and how anime works with fire. Uh, it's actually a lot like Electro, like with minks, but the minks, how they get their electro is through the static electricity with their fur. It's not like they're like conjuring electricity. It's just a static electricity that they learn to manipulate. And also kind of like Fishman Karate. It's also not like water conjuring. It's just manipulation. It's a martial art where they can manipulate water. So it is kind of sort of the same, but we don't have like an earth or an air manipulator yet. At least I can think of. Queen also states that the Lunarians are able to survive in any natural environment in the world. So, saying that, how were the Celestial Dragons able to defeat them? They could have used ancient weapons. There could have been certain devil fruits that was able to subdue them. I actually have a theory that I want to talk about at the end of the video that I'll get to that. And also, like, are are the Lunarians immune to devil fruit side effects? Because if they are immune to any natural environment, if King falls into the water, being underwater is a natural environment, so he should, in theory, be able to breathe underwater. Correct? So if he's able to breathe underwater, and he's referred to as a god, would he be able to somehow be immune, if not resistant to the weakening powers of the devil fruit user when they fall into the water, and where they turn into a hammer or a weight where they just can't move and they drown? Kind of like, but with the only person that we know that survived this so far is, well, Luffy at Arlong Park, and what's his name? Jack from uh, Kaido's crew. When he was destroyed by Zunisha, and he was underwater because he's part fisherman, he can breathe underwater, but he couldn't move. But I want to move on now to the appearance for King. He's known as the last Lunarian. We don't know if there's any alive. We don't know if he has parents. Uh, but he's 20 feet tall, 1 inch, or 613 centimeters. He's 47 years old, and in the Odin flashback, he's 27. So even now at 47, his parents could still be alive somewhere. Especially in the Odin flashback, they definitely could still be alive because he's only 27. But they could have been killed off. He could have escaped somewhere. Like I said, I have a theory at the end that I want to talk about. I mean, I don't. It might not be a theory that I came up with. I haven't seen it anywhere, so I'm not taking any credit for it. But the Lunarians so far, but King has black wings. But in the over the top opening, like the original over the top, his wings were actually white. But later on, they changed it after I guess Oda said something, and they can move. They are a physical, like part of his body. He can use them and move them and everything else. He doesn't like his mask touched at all. Uh, he does. That's why he wears this giant gimp suit. It covers every part of his body but his eyes. Um, but later on, Zoro destroys part of his mask or helmet right here, and you're able to see part of his face. He has narrow red eyes. And under his mask, you can see like a marking that's over his left eye right here, and he has slicked, light-colored hair going back. And obviously, he has fire coming out of his back as well because he's able to manipulate fire. Like I said, he wears a black gimp suit. In the Odin flashback, he actually wore a red one, which I think is pretty cooler than the black one, but to one their own. He's usually pretty quiet. He doesn't really comment that much, or when he does, he doesn't really go on and on. He usually just says a few words, and that's it. He has the bounty of 1,390,000,000. It's the highest non-captain bounty that we know of so far. He's the user of the Ryunomi model Pteranodon, sorry. It's an ancient zone, so he's even more strong because of the ancient zone. He's fully awakened as well. And being a Lunarian and being able to survive in all the harsh environments and everything, plus being in an ancient zone, makes him even stronger. So he is going to be a force to reckon with for Zoro. He also doesn't like to talk about his race at all. Most of the information that we've gotten has been from Queen, actually. And as we know, Queen and King don't really get along, so I doubt that King has told Queen about the Lunarians or anything. I'm sure Queen has probably, since he was in the Mad Science group, I'm sure he had access to a bunch of information and history and all that, so he probably found out that way. What we don't know is how long do Lunarians live. Like I said, King is 47 years old right now, so there had to have been at least multiple Lunarians 47 years ago, unless there's some sort of way that the Lunarians reproduce, and maybe they don't reproduce the same way as everybody else. Maybe I don't know, maybe they split off from rocks, maybe they osmosis from each other or something, I don't know. But there had to have been at least multiple Lunarians 47 years ago. And how durable King is, no one's been able to do any damage to him except for Marco. Marco was able to do damage with him with his blue flames. So it could have been because it was flame versus flame. He wasn't able to manipulate it, and that's like his one weakness is he can't like manipulate other people's flames. So maybe that's like the only way that he could be taken down is with maybe Marco will show up and help Zoro in the fight, but I don't really want that to happen. I kind of want Zoro to take on uh, King himself and take him down, especially after the last chapter when he got his three swords with Conqueror's infused hockey. So we'll see probably in the next chapter if what happens. If not, probably the chapter after. I'm sure there's going to be a break, not this upcoming week, but the week after. So we'll see then. But that's all I have for the information on King and the Lunarians that we have so far. I just wanted to talk about a theory that I thought of in my head. I'm sure I'm not the first one that came up with it. I'm sure that it's on Reddit somewhere. But what if God Valley was where the world government sent the Lunarians after they took over the Red Line? So back in the Void Century, when they won by either the ancient weapons or some other way of defeating them. Maybe the Lunarians were part of the D clan. And that's part of the whole Nika, the sun god, and the Lunarians being lunar, which is the moon. Maybe those two work together against the world government. But like I said, maybe the world government after they lost the war, after the war they sent the Lunarians to God Valley, God because they were referred to as gods, and Valley as is below because the valley is below everything. So like fallen gods, and King at the time of the God Valley incident, King would have been 9 years old. The Celestial Dragons were present with some of their slaves at the time, so maybe they were actually there to kill off the last of the Lunarians. Maybe they were finally like, okay, we got to get rid of them because they don't want the world history to get out. Maybe like the Lunarians could not leave God Valley for whatever reason. Like they have wings, but maybe they can't fly with them or something. I'm not sure. Maybe the world government did something to cover the island with some sort of barrier or something so the Lunarians couldn't leave, like so they couldn't sail away, or maybe it's like in the calm belt or something where they couldn't sail. So, but King would have been 9 years old at the time, and maybe they were there to kill off the last of the Lunarians, and at the same time, Garp was there to fight. Garp and Roger fought Rocks and the Rocks crew with Big Mom, Wang Ji, Kaido, Shiki, all of them. So when Rocks lost and the Rocks crew was defeated, and the Lunarians ended up being killed, maybe when Big Mom found Kaido and took pity on him and gave him the Ua Ua no Mi model as your dragon, the fish root, he also ran into like the 9-year-old King, and he also took pity on him because Big Mom took pity on Kaido. So maybe he took him in and was able to survive the escape due to him being a Lunarian. Like I said, he could probably breathe underwater because it's the natural environment, and with Kaido being able to turn into a fish, or maybe he was able to turn into a dragon at the time. Maybe the dragon is awakening. We don't know, but either way, he would have been able to swim away or breathe underwater with Kaido. So, and that's why the reason he's so loyal to Kaido in the end, because he saved his life and he didn't like look down on him for his race, or he didn't treat him any different, or like like he's a god or anything. He's just like a normal person on his crew. But yes, that's my theory. I just want to talk a little bit about the Lunarians and King. I'm still kind of new at these YouTube videos, and I do a lot of planning and everything, trying to get out what I want to say. I intend to improve over time. If you guys would like and subscribe and stick with me over time, I would really appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.